My sister Olivia handed me the ultrasound image at 2:47 in the afternoon on a perfect Saturday. Her face was glowing with that specific kind of joy, the one that seems reserved exclusively for expectant mothers, and she asked the question that detonated my world. Isn't she beautiful? I'm an MRI specialist. I have 17 years of training, board certifications, and a fellowship in gynecological imaging. In my career, I've analyzed over 20,000 scans. I can read them the way other people read a newspaper. Instantly, instinctively, the data processing before my conscious brain has a chance to catch up. And what I saw on that glossy, celebratory piece of paper made my blood turn to ice. The shape was wrong. The texture was all wrong. The density was completely, terrifyingly off. What Olivia saw as the sweet, curved profile of her daughter's face, the one she'd probably traced with her finger 100 times, wasn't a profile. It was something else. Something solid where nothing solid should ever be. But I held my expression perfectly still. 15 years of giving people the worst news of their lives teaches you that kind of control. You learn to lock down your microexpressions to build a dam against the horror that wants to flood your face, because one wrong look can shatter a person. I forced a smile. Where did you get this done, Liv? She beamed, completely oblivious to the seismic event happening inside my chest. That new boutique in the plaza, Womb and Bloom. They do the 3D pictures and the keepsake videos. It's so much nicer than a doctor's office. The rooms look like nurseries and they give you sparkling cider after. A strip mall. Not a hospital, not her obstetrician's office. A boutique likely run by people with 6-week certificates and a second-hand imaging machine bought online. I told her the picture was lovely and excused myself. I wasn't looking for the bathroom. I was looking for her husband, Ryan. I found him in the kitchen sneaking a beer before the big reveal. We need to talk, I said. No. He gave me that easy, charming laugh. What, you're going to give me another lecture on Olivia's diet? I know she had one piece of sushi, it's not going to. That is not a baby on the ultrasound. The bottle stopped halfway to his lips. His face went blank, that blue screen expression of a mind trying to compute impossible data. What? I grabbed his arm, pulled him into the laundry room and shut the door. The happy chatter of 50 guests was a muffled hum. In here it was quiet enough to end a world. The mass in that image is solid, I said, my voice steady despite my heart hammering against my ribs. Babies aren't solid. They are fluid spaces, developing organs. This is dense. Uniform. It's in the wrong place, it's the wrong shape, it's the wrong everything. He sagged against the dryer, the color draining from his face. But she felt it kick. She's been feeling it for weeks. Large masses create pressure shifts against other organs. Intestinal displacement. It mimics the sensation of kicking, but it's not a baby. It's the mass. So what is it? I don't know for sure. Could be a number of things. I couldn't say the word aloud. Not yet. I'm saying Olivia needs a real diagnostic scan at a real hospital tonight. He glanced toward the door where we could hear Olivia's bright, happy laugh. She's going to be destroyed. We have to let her have this moment. She deserves that much. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a horror that mirrored my own, and finished my thought. Even if it's the last happy one she has for a while. We walked back into the party, co-conspirators in a terrible, necessary lie. The backyard was a wonderland of pink and blue. Streamers, balloons, a cake shaped like a onesie. In the center of it all, a giant black balloon pregnant with the answer that was already a lie. Our parents were there, my mom already crying happy tears. The whole sprawling network of people who loved my sister had gathered to celebrate a future that I knew didn't exist. It was time. Olivia grabbed a giant pin, her face electric with excitement. She and Ryan stood before the balloon, a perfect picture of love and hope. A perfect lie. Okay, everyone ready to find out? 3, the crowd yelled. My mind screamed at me to stop this, to say something. God forgive me. The balloon popped. Pink confetti rained down, a soft, silent storm of lies. It coated everyone's hair, dusted the green grass, and covered my sister in the color of a future she wouldn't have. Olivia burst into beautiful, devastating tears. A girl, she sobbed into Ryan's chest. We're having a girl. I watched the pink confetti settle around them and felt my own heart break into 1,000 pieces. 2 hours later, I manufactured our exit. I feigned a family emergency at the hospital. The irony was a bitter taste in my mouth. I need Ryan to drive me, I said, holding up my glass. I've had too much to drink. Olivia pouted. You're leaving? We haven't even cut the cake. I'm so sorry, I'll call you tomorrow, I promise. She hugged me and her belly, not a baby bump, I knew now, just the swelling of something awful, pressed against me. The lie was ash on my tongue. The drive to the hospital was silent. I'd already called ahead, spoken to a colleague and explained the situation in cold, clinical terms. I told them to be ready. Olivia texted during the drive. Is everything okay? You both looked so serious. Ryan's hands gripped the. Have you ever seen an entire old money real estate family, architects, developers, city planners, abandon their dying matriarch because she could no longer add value to their portfolio? That's exactly what I lived through 3 months ago. While my mother, Laura Vance, lay dying in a private wing of a hospital her own company built, my brother Ryan was 2 floors down, schmoozing investors for his next big deal. My sister Jessica was across town, finalizing a brutal eviction of a historic building's tenants. 22 family members, all titans of industry, and not a single one could spare an hour for the woman who handed them their empire. They didn't send flowers, just a sterile corporate memo of condolence, as if she were a retiring executive, already erased from the company letterhead. But here's what they didn't know. Mom had been planning for this moment for 15 years. The letter the nurse handed me as Mom took her last breath didn't just contain her final words. It contained the keys to the $1.36 billion empire they thought they controlled. Hi, I'm Amelia Vance, 32 years old, and today I'm sharing how my dying mother's secret letter turned me from the family failure into their worst nightmare. The Vance name is practically carved into the cornerstone of this city. For 3 generations we've built skylines. My grandfather was a brutalist architect who laid the foundation. My father expanded it into a development powerhouse. My brother Ryan, 40, was the golden son, the dealmaker whose face was on every business magazine. He could sell a condemned warehouse for millions with nothing more than a handshake and a charming smile. My sister Jessica, 36, was the enforcer, a ruthless corporate lawyer who handled the family's dirty work. She once said empathy was a liability in their line of work. Then there was me, the data analyst, the one who saw patterns in numbers, not in blueprints. In my family's eyes, my job as a lead strategist at a major tech firm was a cute little hobby. Anyone can play with spreadsheets, Amelia, Ryan would say. But can you raise a skyscraper from dust? The irony was, while they were building one tower at a time, I was designing predictive models that could forecast citywide real estate trends with 98% accuracy. But in the Vance family, if you didn't work with concrete and steel, you were invisible. A holiday dinner last year showed me exactly where I stood. During his toast, Ryan gestured to me and said, "To Amelia, who's proven that even in a family of builders, someone has to be the furniture." The room roared with laughter. Jessica added, "She's not furniture, Ryan. She's the abstract art on the wall that no one really understands." I just smiled, playing the role they gave me. What they didn't know was that 2 hours earlier, I'd closed a $9.2 billion IPO for my company. My bonus alone could have bought the restaurant we were in. But I kept quiet. In my family, tech money was imaginary, not earned through real grit. Uncle Kevin patted my shoulder. "Don't worry, dear. Not everyone can handle the pressure of the real world." Light. Olivia met me at the door, and for the first time in over a year, her eyes were shining with pure, unburdened joy. "We have someone we want you to meet," she said. In the living room, Ryan was sitting in a rocking chair, holding a tiny bundle wrapped in a yellow blanket. "This is Sophie," Olivia whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "We finalized the adoption yesterday." She was 3 weeks old, with a tuft of dark hair and big, curious eyes. Ryan looked up at me, his face wet with the kind of happy tears I hadn't seen on him since before the lie. "We wanted to wait until it was official," he said. "We couldn't handle any more uncertainty." Olivia took the baby from him, cradling her with an ease and a certainty that was breathtaking. The therapist warned me I might struggle to bond, that the trauma might always be there. But the first time I held her, I just knew. He's ours. He was always meant to be ours. I looked at my sister, truly happy, truly at peace, holding her daughter. Her real daughter. The nursery door down the hall was open, and for the first time, it didn't lead to a room of ghosts. It led to a room filled with hope. A room waiting for Sophie.